As most of you know, we are about to get a Lakers-Warriors playoff series, and what that really means is LeBron versus Steph Curry. If you know anything about basketball, you know that LeBron and Steph have a very, very complicated and deep history, including 4 finals matchups. Both of them are all-time great players, and both of them have 4 rings, and the fact that both of them are on the verge of potentially winning their 5th ring has a lot of people debating whether Steph or LeBron is better all time. And I fully admit for a long time I was on the LeBron is better train, but recently I've been forced to look at the facts, and unfortunately I have come to the conclusion that Steph Curry is, in fact, a better basketball player than LeBron James. I have Steph's incredibly smart and incredibly rational fan base to thank for opening my eyes to this obvious conclusion. Enjoy the video, and please do not get too upset if you're a LeBron fan, because honestly, facts don't care about your feelings. Really, we should have known that Steph was better than LeBron right away in their first finals matchup in 2015. And the key moment was when Steph willed Kyrie Irving's kneecap to break in half in overtime of Game 1. Simply put, if LeBron was a better basketball player than Steph, how come he allowed his best teammate's kneecap to break in half at a crucial point in the game? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's Steph's ability to watch his star opponents get injured consistently that really separates him from the pack. But it's not just Kyrie. In fact, in my opinion, Steph doesn't get nearly enough credit for willing Kelly Olynyk to tear Kevin Love's shoulder out of his socket a couple months prior to the finals in 2015. Simply put, Kyrie and Kevin Love missing the 2015 finals had absolutely zero bearing on the outcome of the series. The true definition of greatness is being able to defeat an opponent missing 2 of its 3 best players, especially in the finals. And that's what Steph excels at. A lot of LeBron fans like to point to 2016 as the reason why LeBron is better than Steph, because he led every stat category. Ooh, like that's some big deal. Who cares about that, okay? The only reason LeBron won in 2016 was because Draymond Green was suspended for the entire series. That's right, Draymond Green literally did not play in any game in the 2016 finals, especially in Game 6 and 7. He was not out there. In Game 7, you might have imagined him scoring 32 points, but that didn't actually happen. It's all in your imagination. Draymond was suspended for the entire series. That win by the Cavs and LeBron is totally invalid. And also, Andrew Bogut got hurt in Game 5. And Andrew Bogut, as we all know, is probably the greatest center in NBA history. And in the 2016 finals, he averaged an incredible 3.2 points and 12 minutes per game and was a minus 25. It's obvious that because he got hurt, the Cavs title is not legitimate. And also, all of Steph's teammates were literally hurt. That's right, Steph Curry was literally the only Warriors player on the court for all 7 games. It was 1-on-5, literally, okay? Klay Thompson only played 7 games. Andre Iguodala only played 7 games. Sean Livingston only played 7 games. And Steph himself only played 7 games, as he was dealing with a very, very serious knee injury. And Steph is the first and only player in NBA history to ever play through an injury, folks. You have to understand this. This is necessary context in 2016. In fact, it was Steph's bad knee that forced him to miss his final 5 shots in the last 5 minutes of Game 7. It's not Steph's fault, it's his knee's fault. So yeah, if you still think the Cavs' 2016 title is legitimate after I just broke it down, guess what? You're a bronzesexual. Expecting a player to close a 3-1 lead when his 4 or 5 best teammates are all healthy the entire series is just completely irrational. Do better. But I would say the biggest reason why Steph Curry is better than LeBron is what happened in the 2016 offseason. Instead of resting on his laurels, Steph Curry did what every champion does, which is go to the Hamptons and get on his knees and beg Kevin Durant to join his 73-win team that already had 2 All-NBA players and a Finals MVP coming off the bench. Basically, Steph had the worst supporting cast in the NBA, and it only got worse once Kevin Durant joined. But guess what? Steph somehow made it work by being completely unselfish and being so humble and an incredible leader. His ability to stand and watch Kevin Durant make shots really was so powerful for me, because I don't think LeBron would do that. I don't think LeBron has the ability to stand and watch Kevin Durant make shots. And we saw that in the 2017 finals. Guess how many points Kevin Durant scored for the Cavaliers in 2017? 0. Guess how many points he averaged for the Warriors in 2017 in the finals? Yeah, 35 plus points per game. And people may think, oh, well, Kevin Durant averaged that many points because he's good at basketball, when really the only reason he scored that many points is because Steph Curry told him, hey, Kevin, you see this round object you have in your hands? It's called a basketball, and I want you to put it through the hoop as many times as you possibly can. And that's what Kevin Durant did. So really, all of Kevin Durant's points and his rebounds and his assists, his blocks and his steals, they all actually belong to Steph Curry. Everybody with common sense knows this, but unfortunately, you have some idiots out there who pretend that Kevin Durant mattered and he was a good basketball player and that he swung the series in the Warriors' favor. No, the only reason Kevin Durant was a good player in 2017 and 2018 2018 for that matter, was because of Steph Curry's leadership and his humbleness. LeBron doesn't have that ability. In 2018, Steph was a man on a mission to prove that the Warriors winning in 2017 with an undermanned, scrappy, low-talent squad wasn't a fluke. And guess what? Because of Steph's greatness, the Warriors repeated in 2018. Steph's leadership and his gravity is so strong that he was able to sit out the first 6 games of the postseason and will his team to go 5-1 without him. LeBron's never missed a playoff game in his career. You know why? Because he knows and he's afraid of getting exposed for playing on super teams, and that his teams would probably go 16-0 in the playoffs every year if he didn't play. But because LeBron is so selfish, he decides to play every single playoff game. Steph Curry is so unselfish, he allows his teammates to win playoff games without him even playing. That also matters a lot when you're talking about who's better all time. But anyway, after defeating the 65-win Rockets in the Western Conference Finals, thanks to Steph willing Chris Paul's hamstring to tear, Steph had the monumental task of defeating the 2018 Cleveland Cavaliers, led by future Hall of Famers LeBron James, Tristan Thompson, Jeff Green, J.R. Smith, Rodney Hood, and Kyle Korver, who shot a blistering 6.3% from the field in the series. Oh, and also I forgot to mention a concussed Kevin Love, who had just missed the previous 2 games, both wins against Boston, with a concussion. But somehow Steph not only led the Warriors to another championship, he swept the mighty Cavaliers. And his clutchness was on full display in Game 1 of the series, when he held LeBron to 51 points, while also willing George Hill to miss the potential game-winning free throw with 5 seconds left. And then his masterpiece, using his mind control abilities to will J.R. Smith to run out the clock after grabbing the offensive rebound, sending the game into overtime, where Steph scored an incredible 0 points in the Warriors' 10-point win. But the ultimate display of Steph's greatness was in Game 3 of the series, with the Warriors up 2-0 going into a hostile Cleveland crowd. It was Steph's incredible pregame speech to Kevin Durant, where he said, "Hey Kevin, I'm going to need you to score 43 points tonight, okay? Because I'm going to play like shit." That motivated Kevin Durant to score 43 points on 15 of 23 shooting, while Steph gave his teammates 13 offensive rebound opportunities on just 16 shots. There aren't a lot of players who would be willing to watch one of their teammates score 40-plus points in a finals game, but Steph is so unselfish and the only superstar who's willing to do that. That's what really separates him from the pack, especially LeBum. And it's blatantly clear that once the Warriors completed the sweep in Game 4, that Steph was robbed Finals MVP by the super biased media that hasn't given Steph any sort of awards in his entire career. And I know you're probably saying, well, Barry, Steph had a terrible Game 3 and he had worse stats and efficiency than Kevin Durant in the entire series. But I implore you all to look deeper into the statistics and stop being such a hater. If you even cared to do any research, you would know that 30% of Steph's points in the series came with a double-digit lead, whereas only 12% of Kevin Durant's points in the series came with a double-digit lead. What does this mean? This means that in the highest leverage of moments, which is when your team has a double-digit lead or more, Steph was better than Kevin Durant, and that's all that matters. Steph was absolutely robbed. Quite honestly, this might be the biggest tragedy in American history. Let's fast forward a couple years to 2022, where Steph won his 4th ring after completely carrying a terrible Warriors squad, this time without Kevin Durant to hinder him. Steph finally proved all of his haters wrong once and for all by winning that elusive Finals MVP versus the Celtics. And quite honestly, he sealed the trophy with his incredible performances in Games 4 and 5. He literally received zero help from his teammates and single-handedly won those games, especially in Game 5, where he shot a heroic 7 for 22 from the field. It was at that moment when I saw Steph shoot 7 for 22 in a Finals game and still win comfortably that I realized this guy's special. LeBron could never do that. The true sign of a champion is the ability to watch your teammates make shots when your team is losing and then suddenly make your shots when your team is winning. That's what Steph excelled at, especially in the 2022 finals. You're probably saying to yourself, oh, well, you're just being a sarcastic asshole. Well, yeah, that might be true. But guess what? Steph had as many go-ahead shots in the 4th quarter in the 2022 finals as Michael Jordan. Yeah, still think he's not clutch? That's what I thought. But in the end, thanks to Steph's incredible 1 of 7 shooting when trailing in the 4th quarter in the series, the Warriors were able to win in 6 games, and Steph was able to finally win that elusive Finals MVP. Steph has an incredible 1 Finals MVP to LeBron James's pitiful 4 Finals MVPs. 1 comes before 4 when you're talking about numbers, so therefore 1 Finals MVP is actually better than 4 Finals MVPs, contrary to what bronzexuals say. Fast forward to this year, and Steph is once again carrying an absolutely terrible team that only had a winning record without him in the 26 games he missed, including 2 5-game win streaks, to keep the season afloat. But it's not only that, Steph Curry also took the juggernaut dynasty Sacramento Kings to 7 games in the first round, including an incredibly clutch 50-point Game 7, where he had 16 fourth-quarter points with a double-digit lead, while also willing his opponent, which was the highest-scoring team in the league during the regular season, to shoot 3 for 22 from 3 in the second half. That's what greatness is all about. So yeah, as we enter our 5th installment of Steph versus LeBron in the playoffs, just remember that LeBron is nowhere near Steph Curry all time in terms of playing basketball. Even if Steph loses this series, he's still better than LeBron all time, beyond just basketball reasons. Steph stayed loyal to the Warriors after they gave him Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, DeMarcus Cousins, Kevon Looney, and a 20-point per game scorer in Jordan Poole. It's basically impossible to win that many games with so many terrible players around you throughout your entire career and your prime, but Steph somehow did it, as opposed to LeBum, who left a stacked Cleveland team featuring Mo Williams, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, J.J. Hickson, Anthony Parker, and famous mother respecter Delonte West. Over the last decade or so, LeBron has just spent his entire time hopping from super team to super team, including a Miami Heat team that won an incredible 0 playoff series the previous 4 seasons before LeBron got there, before disgustingly going back to a Cleveland Cavaliers team that had the worst record in the league the previous 4 years when he was in Miami. But the worst move of all was when he decided to join the Lakers in 2018, a team that had the worst record in the league over the previous 6 seasons. If that's not front-running and hopping on super teams, I don't know what is. It's literally 1,000 times worse than what Kevin Durant did. Don't forget to spend at least 20 minutes a day praying to Steph Curry, who is a modern-day Jesus.